Well, good evening. Welcome back to Northern Maine Productions. And it is Tuesday, yeah, I don't know what the day is. Oh well. So, tonight, as you guys can see here, I have lifted the 11 horse engine off of that old Snapper 2650. Took a couple other pieces off of it, and it's outdoors. I'm done taking parts off from that as far as I know. So I put the engine on the bench here tonight, and I'm just it doesn't really need any significant work done on it. It just needs to be cleaned up and detailed again. The last time I detailed this engine was in 2022. I've put a fair amount of hours on it since then. It got pretty dirty again. I was pretty ticked off when I cleaned some of the dirt off of here. I realized that over the years of tilting that machine up to take the blade or whatnot off from it to sharpen it, the friggin' batteries leaked acid in here and dripped acid all over the motor. Doesn't seem to be any significant damage, but you know. So I took the carburetor off and just get it out of the road, and that body of that thing really needs to be cleaned. This whole entire side of the engine looked just about like that right there. It was just covered with dust. Some of the places I've mowed with this machine have been pretty dirty and dusty. I've actually used that old machine more or less for a bush hog than a lawnmower, because that's about all that friggin' crappy deck setup on that was good for. It did work well mowing fields. Incredible little bush hog with this big engine on that 30-inch blade. There's a little more acid damage here on the acid drip down over it. Other than that, there's not much here to look at. It just needs a good cleaning. I gotta do some repairs to these wires here. This got a 1998 alternator in it, so it's actually got a wire for the headlights if I wanted to have the headlights on all the time, which I probably won't. I'm not gonna bother to put that sealed beam light back on the front of this one like I had on that other machine. I only ever used that like that a few times. It did work good, but you just don't need it. So the heck mows after dark. Starter cover stayed together fairly well. I mean, this thing was extremely rusted the last time I cleaned it up. Everything's doing as to be expected in here for a 40-year-old engine. This engine dates from 1985, I believe. There's the code number right there. Looks like it was built 9 of 84, so this come off a Series 5 41-inch. It was a 4111 X5S, big commercial mower. I got the air filter housed in there all torn apart. I got to clean that all up. But basically that's all this is, just clean up and detail. I'm probably going to take the bowl off that carburetor and just make sure that's all clean, and then I'm going to repaint that carburetor again. But so I did one other thing to the machine here tonight. I put the starter button plate back on here, and amazingly I found that I had a really nice one here when I was digging through my pile of parts. That one there is from a Series 6 machine that I scrapped out here a few years ago. And this is the one that was on the 2650, as you can see. That's not in very good shape, it's pretty rusty. So this is the original one that came off from the 4111 X5S. This is the original plate that went with that 11 horse engine, but I'm not going to use it because it's pretty ugly looking. So that one there looks a lot better, and the decal is actually still in good shape on it. I took the connections all apart on the switch and cleaned them all up. I located the little protector to go on the battery cable. I've got a few lawnmowers junked out back here, so I just grabbed that off one of them. The wire and the starter harness is on here. I gotta get some electrical tape. I got one little repair there to do with that jacket. That jacket's still actually relatively good for being 40 years old, so I'm gonna use it. And this time around, this machine's got the newer updated fender on it. This time around I'm going to be able to bolt it down right there where it's supposed to go. So that'll be a plus. My 2650 did not have these holes drilled in the frame, so wasn't able to, I bolted that onto the side of the engine, I believe. So, oh, and I was going to share one other little thing. We talked about some time ago when I was working on that gear case. I talked about lubrication in that. Well, as you guys know, you put any kind of liquid oil in that 80-90 oil, 75 140 or whatever, it's gonna leak out of it, and it's gonna make a mess underneath that machine, because neither one of those gear cases are truly sealed up very well. They were designed for this stuff, which amazingly I found at the local lawnmower repair shop in Holton, Maine. That is Land Pride EP double aught grease. Part number 821086C. This is that, it's the same stuff that Snapper Lube was. It's a semi-solid, semi-liquid grease. It's lithium based grease, I believe. Yeah, you can buy this stuff. You can buy it online too. I paid $9 for this quart, which is a really good deal. And I'm hoping by using this that I won't have the problems with the oil leaking out of it like I was. Now, that case is all completely cleaned out. There's nothing in them right now. So when I put this stuff in here, I've got to put just about a half a quart in the main case, and then you got to put about 2 or 3 ounces in the chain case. Doesn't take very much to keep them lubricated. The stuff is pretty clingy, and it's a little bit like STP and that STP oil treatment stuff. Well, it's a little bit thicker than that even. But I guess I've researched it as much as I can, and as near as I can tell, that's probably the best option. So now, when I went on a little rant there last fall talking about how the grease had hardened up and dried out in them. Well, it wasn't dried out in this one. What I'd found out later was that when somebody had the gear cases apart on those old machines years before I bought them, they had put solid grease in the stupid thing. They put tube grease in it. That don't work. That stuff is not, tube grease is not made to lubricate gears. So, well, anyways, that's just a quick little update. I haven't done any more with the seat ordeal yet, but I have figured out one thing now. If I buy a new seat that is similar to this one, I believe I can cut this one apart and take this plate off of the bottom of this. That's the special plate that is made to fit that spring that keeps the seat from rotating. Now the holes on either end of this are not tapped, just the center holes tapped out. And this was actually still bolted onto that thing. The bolt will actually thread into it, so even if most of the newer seats nowadays that you buy have got a large hole in the center of them for a switch to mount in there. So if I can get this plate off of this one and salvage that, what will happen is probably this knot is made into the bottom of this seat, so probably I'll have to weld a knot onto the bottom of on the other side of this plate, put it on there, let the knot be inside of the seat, and that should work. I don't see why it wouldn't. It's the only option I got. Can't buy a snapper seat anywhere for these things. Everybody's scoffed them all up. So I guess when there's a will, there's a way. So, well, anyways, I guess with that being said, I'm gonna cut this video off, and I'm going in the house. It's 8 or 8:30 right now. It's pouring rain outside, and I'm ready to get in bed. Well, anyways, you all have a good evening. Bye bye.